I'm Bruce Marshall. This is the Brampton Now update for the week ending the March 27th, 28th weekend 2021. Coming up, the provincial budget makes some vague promises about hospitals for Brampton. Then on Friday, the premier shows up with the mayor. But I don't think we know any more about the facts, nor the figures in this case. Dr. Lowe is calling a third wave, but the third wave has a competitor now, vaccines. Details on that and more coming up in this Brampton Now update. Here's what's happening in Brampton. Another grim milestone. Dr. Lawrence Lowe from the Wednesday Brampton press conference.
While spring has sprung, our trends have increased for the second week in a row. This means we are seeing the start of a third wave resurgence in the region of Peel and in the city of Brampton, and frankly, probably just a resurgence of the second wave because we never actually exited.
However, there's a race on now, the pandemic and vaccines.
Our community has hit an exciting milestone in our ongoing pandemic response, surpassing 100,000 vaccines administered in the region of Peel just earlier this week.
The vaccines are a good news story in Peel region. Those 75 and older can now start booking.
And we're also excited that residents over the age of 75 are now eligible for vaccine in our community. And with all 10 of our mass vaccination clinics throughout the community and operated with our hospital partners now up and running, with the 11th at Chris Gibson's slated to open early in April, we are now offering thousands of appointments a week to eligible residents.
Where can you book your vaccine appointment for those who are eligible?
Appointments are available on the provincial booking system at covid-19.ontario.ca/book-vaccine. For those without internet access, the Region of Peel is pleased to offer booking assistance for those who cannot book online at 905-791-5202 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Again, that's 905-791-5202.
Peel's chief medic also continues to point a finger at both the feds and the province on a couple of issues.
We still need support for our essential workers. The more contagious variants can spread more quickly in essential workplaces if precautions aren't adhered to. So it's even more critical for us to have inspections, investigations, and protections such as paid sick days. On that note, the continued absence of sick leave means that our essential workers are unable to get isolated, get tested without forgoing their salary, and increasingly, they're also unable to take time off to get vaccinated. And that does not bode well for our ultimate success.
What Lowe talks about is paid sick days as a matter of public health policy now, and the lacking inspections by either the federal nor the provincial labor departments. Clearly, the health department has been doing a lot of heavy lifting that the labor departments have been derelict in their duties over. Both provincial and federal labor ministries have been a disgrace. In a moment, is Brampton getting a hospital? A look at the facts and the figures next on the Brampton Now update.
Hello, I'm Mayor Patrick Brown, and I am one of the many faces against parental alienation. Being a face against parental alienation means I've joined the fight against domestic violence, child abuse, false allegations, and parental abductions. You too can join the fight and campaign with us by wearing royal blue April 25th in support of Parental Alienation Awareness Day so that we can all be a voice for the voiceless.
Is going to a party really worth it? Putting yourself at risk puts everyone at risk. Help limit the spread of COVID-19.
This is the Brampton Now update. I'm Bruce Marshall. Brampton is getting a hospital. Breathless announcements broadcast over social media on Wednesday after the Ontario Tories brought down their budget. Organizations such as Fair Deal for Brampton were trumpeting a success. So were most, if not all, on council, including Mayor Brown from the Wednesday presser.
The provincial average for hospital beds is 2.16 beds for 1,000 residents. And in Brampton, we only have 0.96. We have less than half the hospital beds that is the provincial average.
But big questions remain about just what is reality and what may be just political smoke and mirrors. The only dollar figures in the budget is $1.5 million, the value of a nice Brampton single-family home on a nice lot. That's all that is actually promised in the budget as of now. Then on Friday, the Premier swung by Brampton Civic for a news conference.
This hospital will include over 250 new patient beds. It will include a 24/7 emergency department.
An emergency department that materialized out of nowhere since Wednesday. In January of 2020, Mayor Brown called for Brampton to catch up with the rest of Ontario, and a year ago he said that would take 800 beds. So this 250 some odd beds is 550 short of what Mayor Brown said we needed last January. When reporters asked about financial commitment, Ford dodged the question. Asked about design, Ford dodged again. Asked about shovels in the ground, Team Ford dodged. There was more dodge than Ford at this Brampton press conference. The only figure that is firm is from a news release from the Premier's office on Friday that talked about a $3 billion budget over 10 years for all of Ontario. Places like Whitby also scream for another hospital. Brampton Civic opened in 2007 and it cost $500 million. The new Vaughan Hospital, almost half the size of Brampton Civic, cost $1.7 billion. It's great to call for glistening, shiny new hospitals to adorn and care for the citizens of our fair city. But so far, all Doug Ford seems to be offering Brampton is champagne fantasies on a beer budget. It's tough to know what this thing was about. Was it the rollout of budget information? Was it damage control after Brampton erupted at getting the backhand from Ford again? Or is this the beginning of the next provincial election campaign? If that's the case, the Conservatives are off to a shaky start. I don't think many people accept Doug's champagne-tasting beer. To suggest that this is a great deal from Doug Ford is balderdash, poppycock, codswallop, piffle, and Tommy rot. Brampton still deserves better. We don't have to accept scraps. And that is what Doug Ford offers. In a moment, where are we on compliance numbers? Well, apparently we're way down. You practically have to beg to get a ticket. More on that coming up in a moment on the Brampton Now Update.
We know confinement has been hard, locked in and isolated these past few months. As the country slowly reopens, the tourism industry needs your support more than ever. Whether you're looking for a staycation, a quick getaway, or a family vacation, consider an Indigenous tourism experience as your next destination. We have taken all of the safety measures to welcome you, and with over 400 Indigenous experiences open, we know that you'll find the right escape. Discover your authentic Indigenous experience at destinationindigenous.ca.
I'm Bruce Marshall. This is the Brampton Now Update. Compliance is a topic of every weekly press conference, and from some disturbing incidents where idiots just didn't get it at the beginning, we now hand out very few tickets, and those who get tickets have to beg to be charged.
I would note we do try to educate first before bylaw lays charges, and so we're trying to have a collaborative and cooperative approach with the public, and by and large the public is listening. There's always a few bad apples, but by and large we continue to see wide participation of the public understanding the challenges associated with the public health emergency.
So we seem to have a third wave, but vaccines are rolling out. 100,000 so far. We have to maintain protocols. What exactly should we be doing right now? The good doctor recaps.
Limit contact with those you do not live with, and if you must meet, ensure that you stick to the precautions of masking and distancing. Choose the outdoors over the indoors as much as possible, and remember that outdoors is low risk, not no risk, which requires you to still stick to the precautions to keep safe. Get tested and self-isolate if you're sick, get the shot if it's your turn, and if you know someone 75 or older in our community who needs some help to get out to the vaccine, help them out, help them book, help them get there.
And that's the Brampton Now Update for this week. Please subscribe to the Brampton Now Update channel on YouTube or follow #MarshallMinute on Facebook for lots of Brampton need to know that you won't find anywhere else. Your comments and suggestions are always welcome, and if you've got a Brampton story to tell, get in touch with me through the channel you're watching on right now. Stay strong, Brampton. Brampton strong. We're all in this together. I'm Bruce Marshall. Thanks for watching Brampton Now Update.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.